Hey, what's up, Coach? Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode 163. Now, before we dig in, make sure and leave us some feedback here on iTunes. If you leave us a review and take a screenshot of that and send me a direct message on Instagram, I'll hook you up with our book called the Startup Sports Business Academy. I'll give that to you for free. And all you have to do is simply leave us a review. It'll take you 2 seconds. The more reviews we get, the more coaches we can help. That's just the way iTunes works. That's how they're going to rank our show. And I'd really appreciate it if you can do that. If you can take 5 seconds out of your day. And only do it if you're getting value. Don't do it just because I'm begging you to do it. Do it if you're getting value. Leave us a review and explain why you like the podcast. All right. Now, in today's episode, it's titled Setting the Standard with Your Clients. Now, from my observation, and this is because I've been in this business now for close to 11 years now, and I've also seen hundreds of coaches that I've talked to over the phone, talked to via video, coaches in our mastermind, coaches who've gone through our books, our resources online. I've had so many conversations with coaches, and there's really two types of coaches, though. There's coaches that were like me, or they are like me when I was younger, where they have zero standards. So this means parents can show up whenever they want. Kids never want to be there. Kids run over you. Kids aren't going to respect you. Kids aren't going to listen to you. Parents don't respect you. Parents show up on the days when they only want to train. They text you 2 seconds before the session starts saying they can't come because Timmy's sick. Setting zero standards will destroy your business. And I know this because that happened to me. And what I had to do is I had to change as a person. Right? I went from zero standards with my clients to setting really high standards. And the way that I did that, and this is something I would challenge you with, is I had a piece of paper and I had a pen. And I'll never forget this day. I remember I went to this coffee shop that I really like going to. If you ever come to San Antonio, it's called Local Coffee. And I would go there. It's like an upgraded Starbucks. And I'd go there to work on my business during the day. And I remember I went there one day. I was so sick and tired of the way I was being treated by the clients that I had. And it was all my fault. And I realized, you know what? I'm going to create a little document. So I took out a pen and a piece of paper. And I was like, I'm going to write down the top 10 things that I require that the kids and the parents have to be in line with in order for them to be accepted into my program. And this is the thing. I don't care how you slice it, but working with kids is a package deal. If you love training a kid, but you hate dealing with the parent, well, you're going to end up hating training that kid, right? If the parent is awesome and they're super cool and they're nice, but their kid sucks and you hate being around them, well, you're going to hate being around that parent too, right? So it's a package deal. And so what you need to do, though, is write down expectations. And you need to write 10 expectations that you have. So in order for clients to be accepted in your program, they need to meet your expectations. And I see a lot of coaches who message me, they're like, Ben, you're so picky because your business is established, you can be pickier. And in one sense, these coaches are right. Well, yeah, I have been doing it for a long time, but these are things I could have been doing way back in the day. And so I tell every coach that, I would run my business this way at the beginning if I knew what I'm about to tell you. But I didn't, all right? And I'm going to share my top 3 expectations with you. So maybe these are things that you haven't thought of, or maybe things that you want to implement. And then I would create 7 more on your end if you want to take these 3. So number 1, the first expectation I have with kids is they have to make eye contact with me. Like when I'm talking to them, if I'm super invested into helping them develop as a player and as a person, I want to make sure they're looking at me when I'm talking to them. And I want to make sure when they're talking to me, I'm looking at them. because I know when they're at home, most of the time their parents don't look at them. Most of the time they don't look at their parents. I know when they're at school, they're not making eye contact with their teachers because they're tired. Maybe they're a little shy. They don't want to do that. And I want to teach kids, like, dude, if you're going to train with me, you better be looking at me. And if you're not looking at me, you're not paying attention. And if you're not paying attention, you don't want to be here. And if you don't want to be here, I don't want to be here. All right? And I tell kids that flat out in the first session when I see them. So this way, if they're terrible at making eye contact with people, they start to develop that with me. And this way, they can improve their communication skills later down the road. All right? That's number one. The second one has to deal with parents. And this one is 100% about them allowing me to train their kids however I want. All right, so this means that I'm in open communication with parents all the time about the development, about what we're working on and stuff like that. And they're also telling me how their kids are playing in the games. So I like that. But the parents know that they're not going to tell me how to coach their kid. So a great example is like, you meet up with a player, the parent gets out of the car, they're like, hey, they struggle with this, this, and this. Do your session today based around these things that my kid is struggling with. And then they ultimately start dictating your training program. You do not want to run your program that way. And I tell parents that from day one. When they come to my evaluation session, I tell them that. And what that does is it shows the parents instantly who is in charge. All right? Now, the third thing that I do, and this is hard to get every kid to this level, but I do it. And it all comes down to setting the tone with kids. But what I do is when I tell them, when I see them in the first session, I always tell them, one of my expectations is that when you are here with me, this hour that you are training with me, the 1 hour of your entire week, I want you to be extremely focused. I want you to let go of any distractions that you have going on at home or in your personal life. And I want you to give me every ounce of effort. And I want you to think about this. Most kids, when they go to normal practice, they're just going through the motions. They're not really doing much. Their coach is not expecting a high level out of them. So when a kid sees me and I tell them that, well, they're either going to buy into that or not. And if they don't buy into that, well, they're not going to be accepted into my program. And if they do buy into that, guess what? I have nothing to worry about. Now they show up fired up every single time. And what it does is it allows them to be very mentally tough as a person, towards like they could have anything going on in their life. And when they show up and train with me, they're re-energized. They're like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I'm training really hard. And they have that. So this way I'm not having to motivate them to train with me. That keeps them more disciplined. All right. So those are my top three. If I was you, I would have a list of what are your expectations. And I'd love to see your list. You can shoot me over your list on Instagram, on the DM. I'd love to hear, or I'd love to see what that is. And I promise you, having that list, it will change your business. It will change who you train, and you will end up training the kids that are perfect for your program. And it will probably take you maybe an hour to come up with that list. And the more picky you are with that list, better it is. All right. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure, again, leave me a review here on iTunes, tag me on social media. Let me know that you've done that. I'll hook you up with that book. And if you want to take your business to that next level, go to our website at buildmysportsbiz.com. And from there, you can click on the mastermind button where you can learn all about our mastermind program and how we can help you double or triple your business within the next 12 months. That's it. I'll see you later.